Hey everyone, I wanted to create a video highlighting some of the capabilities Azure DevOps can bring to the table and GitHub. So in this collaboration between the two pieces of software, Azure DevOps is really great at project and product management and user management. And we're going to look at how you can create work items, how a developer can put the work item into their Kanban board and then go back to their computer and fix an issue. And all the while, GitHub being the underlining infrastructure for pull requests and that whole GitHub flow. So here in this website, I'm currently logged in as a user, and I want to book an air flight. So the issue that we're going to fix here is as soon as I click on the list of cities, you can see that it's not in alphabetical order. So as a developer, the first step that I'm going to take here is going back into Azure DevOps where we can do this project management. So we're looking at the Kanban board, and you know what, let's actually go into work items. So I've already done all of the technical plumbing, I guess you could say, between Azure DevOps and GitHub. So if we wanted to create a new work item, automatically we can see it's referencing issues. So a work item is an issue. We can just track it in a different way. So we're going to say create a new issue, and we're going to call this issue user can select airport by city. Cool. I'm going to assign this to myself and save it. And as soon as I save it, now we can start to track all the interaction that a developer and my team can have on this particular issue. And even here within development, you can see that I can link other commits, pull requests directly within this issue. So it's basically a one-stop shop for following whatever happens with remediating that one problem. So in boards, a way that I can kind of like track my work is within this Kanban board. And I'm going to go ahead and take this issue, drag it into doing to notify my team and everyone else that I'm currently working on it. And actually the number that we're going to keep, that we're going to reference is this 2112. So once we have all of this lined up, I can go ahead and switch over to Visual Studio Code. And the first thing I want to do while here is create a new branch. So in this branch, I'm going to call it airport sorting. Great. So now that we have airport sorting up, I'm actually already in the service that is responsible for listing out all of the cities within that dropdown. You can see here it's airport services JS file. And this is the line of code that we need to kind of fix or I guess append to. There's really nothing wrong with how that's working because it is giving us a list of cities. We just want to sort it. So we're going to say sort A, B. That goes into this where it's a dot city. Is that right? Yeah, it goes into a.city. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Whenever that's greater than b.city, do this condition for one. Perfect. So I believe that is all we need to do to enable sorting. So once we have this fixed, we can go back into our source control, and we're going to commit this change back into our repository. So we're going to say changes airport sorting fixes AB. Now this is the important part. So as we're committing this number, we're going to have to reference it within our commit. That's how the link establishes itself. So as soon as I enter that in and commit it, I'm going to push this up to the cloud. or up to GitHub. And now we can go, actually, this is pretty cool. So if I open up the issue, we can see that the commit came through. We can see what it's referencing. Let's see what happens. I'm going to click on this. This is not actually what I planned. Okay, cool. So this actually gives you a delta between the two within the branch that I created, all within my IDE Visual Studio Code. Now I can also list out the branches here, and from that new fix and directly within here, I could say create a new pull request. So in this pull request, we'll just name it airport sorting. Wait a minute, let me go back. Yeah, I guess that's all right. So what we need to change is this part. So this project is forked from Microsoft, so I do want to point it to my own project. And here you can see that it's comparing airport sorting to our master. It's changed our title to the commit that I just made. I'm going to create a new pull request. So as soon as I create this new pull request, it's going to go through our branching strategy here. Although I do have I have Azure pipelines currently set up instead of actions. But if we wanted to have actions set up, that same flow would currently happen. But let's switch gears. So everything I've done up to this point is from the developer lens. Now, as a reviewer, I can simply go back into my Visual Studio Code IDE and open up my GitHub extension. Under all, I can see my pull request I just made. So here's the file. So we can click on that, again, see the delta. But if we go into description, as an approver, I can either make my own commits, but I can just create this merge. So we're going to create the merge. I'm going to say approve. And as soon as I do this, it triggers off the workflow in Azure DevOps, in the Azure DevOps pipeline. So here you can see this user converted it. And now if I go back into our issue, we can see additional linked items have been made. In fact, I can see a full audit trail of this, which is really cool. Any user and service that takes action on an issue is tracked in this means. So we can see a timeline of it. We can directly reference any links that's attached to this from within the work item itself. But what I'll do is head into pipelines, and this icon indicates that a pipeline is currently running. So our commit and pull request, once we merged it, kicked off this workflow. It's already ran through each one of these steps, and it's at the very last stage. So we're just gonna take a moment here while it finishes up. Here you can see it's created an artifact for us that we can now deploy. So this is one of the differences between Azure DevOps and Actions, is that we have in Azure DevOps, there's two separate means of building out with CI/CD. So in pipelines, that's CI. So we've gone through all our tests and building out of the application. And now that we have an artifact, we want to go ahead and release it. So here in our, so it's staging it right now. Okay, cool. So once clicking into it, we again can see each step of this build kind of working itself out. So we've downloaded the artifact from our pipeline within here. In fact, if we click into it, we can see that it is looking for those artifacts from a particular build number, and it's extracting all the templates from this file. It's applying an Azure ARM template and its outputs to the resource group and the Azure App Service that's currently running it. So here you can see it's starting the app service and deploying it to web. and this part might take a moment. Cool. So it's finished its job. And if we go into app service, here is our website. It should be the same one that we just had, but let me just re-enter it. So now that I've opened up another website, I'm going to log in again. If I go into book and open up this dropdown, everything's in alphabetical order. So great, we just went through our first feature request. In fact, we can even tidy things up a bit more if I go into boards in my Kanban. And look at that, it's already moved it from doing to done based on the rules that we had. So it automatically looked at the status of both the pipelines and the release pipeline. And once everything was greenlit, passed all of our tests, it moved it to done. So hopefully this gives you some insight into how both products can work with one another. Azure DevOps is kind of this overarching layer where groups can work together, assign themselves work items, view their backlog that's within the current sprint that they're developing within. And GitHub is that community effort where they can still collaborate, have pull requests, and still perform within that GitHub flow. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.